is all the above, best believe we do it better. I want the fame, the fortune, all the above. I want the checks, the moolah, all the above. From Philadelphia to New York, all the above. Man, tell them other stations they don't do it like us. I want the fame, the fortune, all the above. I want the checks, the moolah, all the above. From Philadelphia to New York, all the above. Man, tell them other stations they don't do it like us.
What's up, guys? It's your girl Angel Marie, and I'm sitting here with my co-host Kevin, and we actually have a cool bonus video for you guys where we are gonna let you guys know about all of the above podcasts and pretty much how we started. Little fun facts about our show.
All of the above, which we are 3 years in, but it actually started when we initially launched PHL, the radio station, which obviously we air on PHL radios Wednesdays at 7. Make sure you tune in. But after we launched the station, which we launched in order to give a platform to highlight independent artists and their music, we wanted to have a flagship show. So I approached Angel Marie, who had been involved in the entertainment industry in a number of ways. As she said, she's done red carpet hosting, worked in radio, television, Emmy Award winner. So we knew she was the right person to be the face of the franchise of All the Above. So I approached her and said, will you do this? And she said she was. I was like, I didn't know if she was gonna run off to LA or wherever, or New York. So I said, stay with me here and let's build this. So she came on board, and that's where we kind of started. And obviously she became the face that you all see every week, Wednesdays at 7 when we air, and on the Instagram page. And I'm sort of the behind the scenes person, but it's a great collaboration. I've enjoyed it, look forward to it. We've loved the people we've met and all the interaction and engagement we've got, the artists that we've been able to support and highlight, along with the entrepreneurs, authors, actors, activists. So it's been a great journey, but that's how we started, and that's how we will continue.
So since we began in 2017, we have been in 4 different studios since then. We first started off in Germantown, then we moved over to Roxborough area, and then we moved to West Philly, and now we are currently located in South Philly. So we've pretty much been all over Philadelphia, where we feel like we are the heart and soul of Philly at this point, because we have been stationed everywhere. So I would say it's definitely progressed since we've started. Like, granted, each studio we've been in has been great, but I feel like just between locations and this backdrop, everything about where we began to how we are now is dope. So the mission and goal of All the Above, basically we are a 1-hour show on PHL radio, and we also obviously air on all of the other streaming platforms. Make sure you guys subscribe to all of them. We're on Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music, Spotify, SoundCloud. We're on YouTube, even though our show doesn't air on YouTube, but you see a lot of other content from us, so subscribe to all of them. We love to promote and highlight local entrepreneurs, politicians, authors, fitness trainers, whatever it is you do basically. And not only do we feature and highlight Philly-based individuals, we also highlight those in the surrounding areas or wherever, honestly, if you feel the need to have the finances to come to us. So we've had other guests from New York, New Jersey, Delaware. We've had someone from Virginia. We've had people from Florida reach out. We've had someone from Chicago reach out. So we definitely are open to anybody, but obviously we want to give a voice and a platform for a lot of independent individuals who don't necessarily have that platform to have themselves out there and to talk about themselves. You know, a lot of people, it's been a lot of guests that we've had who said that they've never done an interview before. This was their first interview, so it's good that we kind of give those people that first step to have that experience.
No, exactly. I mean, I think you hit it right on the head. And we kind of touched on it a little bit about the history of the show, but that's really what we're here for. And in particular, you talked about Philadelphia. You know, this is where we're based. This is our primary market. And we hear over and over again from different artists and people that they say Philly doesn't support Philly. And we're trying to change that narrative. We're trying to change that perception. A lot of people feel that you have to leave Philly, you have to go to LA or New York or Atlanta. And we want to make Philadelphia a place where people say, no, I gotta go there. Like, this is the place where I need to be if I want to make it. And we really believe with the talent and the musical history of this city and everything, the vibe and all the things that have taken place, that we can make Philadelphia that spot that people want to come to. So we're just trying to be part of that process. There's a lot of other dope podcasts and entertainers who are contributing to that effort. And we're trying to be a small part of that.
Exactly. Come to all the above.
So the Harvey Cash rule, shout out to Harvey Cash, is something that we believe is unique to our show. Not that other shows don't do things similar, but our first guest that we had on the show was a hip hop artist named Harvey Cash. And one of the things that we did was have him do a freestyle at the end of the segment, which a lot of shows do. But oftentimes there's a beat laid down for the artist to rhyme over. Or if there's a singer, there's, a track that they're playing. So when he went a cappella, no beat, no music, no melody, no nothing.
That was his choice.
Exactly, that was his choice. And we love the concept of that because it takes all the other stuff around. There's no filter, no nothing. It's just you presenting yourself to the audience, to the listeners. So we said, we're going to keep it that way. And we're going to call it the Harvey Cash rule because you established it. So all of our listeners know anytime we have a singer or a hip hop artist on, at the end of the show, they got to give a little sampling, and that is, a 20-second, whatever, little freestyle or singing songy, whatever, verse, half a verse, and it's no music or anything like that. So we love it. We feel that, while other shows may do it, it's kind of a unique thing that we do. We've given it a name to name it after the person who established that rule, and it's part of the identity of the show.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to say like your famous line where you're gonna be like, it's, what did you say? Give the audience a little sampling. It's no beat, no rhythm, no.
I did say a little bit of it.
Yeah, but I was waiting for you to say all is one.
All right, so let me get it. So again, when you think of the Harvey Cash rule, or if you come on the Harvey Cash rule, if you come on our show and you're gonna do the Harvey Cash rule, just know that you're gonna have to spit something, sing something, no beat, no rhythm, no melody, no music, no nothing. It's just you, the microphone, and the power of your voice to speak to the listeners.
Good job. I was waiting for that. September 2017, we launched something called All of the Above Theme Song Challenge, because if you guys are day one listeners, you know that we typically had used instrumentals from celebrities, basically. Yeah. And we wanted to have our own song. We didn't want to use something from someone else, obviously because of old copyright issues. We didn't want to get ourselves involved with anything of that nature. So we said, we want to create a challenge to have, by that point, we've had a few independent artists who were familiar with our show. So we wanted to have a singer, hip hop artist, whatever the case was, to submit music to our show, and we would pick the winner. And we've had a lot of submissions that time, and me and Kevin, we were going through them all. It was like, I like that one. Oh, I really like that one. It's all right, that's cool, that's dope. But it was one that really stood out, and it was from hip hop artist Taylor Made.
Shout out to Taylor
Made. Our prize was that we would give them all the above gear. It ended up being all of the above shirt. So he met us at the studio, provided the shirt for him, and we actually, the day that he won was the same day that he was having a headliner show with Rep Philly, so we went out to support him, and we used that as an opportunity to announce that he was actually the winner. So shout outs to him. He submitted it. It was crazy too. He submitted it around like midnight or 1 in the morning. He was like, so sorry, I hope I didn't miss the deadline, blah, blah, blah. But as soon as we heard it, was like, that's the one. Because it mentioned us, it mentioned the premise of our show, talked about Philly. So we just thought it was everything in one pot all together. Where if somebody never listened to our show before, just from listening to the theme song, you can get an idea of what All the Above is about.
No, I definitely agree. You mentioned there were a lot of great submissions, but his rendition of the theme song just captured everything that the show was about in a 45-second intro. From the instant we both heard it, we just looked at each other, nodded, and knew that was it. And I love the song. To me, it is as much a part of the show as our logo, as either of us, as any element. It's, the first thing you hear when our show comes on. And I couldn't imagine changing it. Maybe at some point we'll update it, but it's gonna have to be tailor-made. He will forever be the one doing our theme song. So
and it's funny because he labels himself as Forever Tailor Made now, so it's funny how he's Forever.
I didn't realize that.
Threw it in there. But yeah.
Our listeners all know, and for those of you who are maybe watching this video don't listen, we start off every show sort of talking about, updates on primarily Angel Marie. I pry into her personal life, but then we move to the main segment of the first half of our show, which is the weekly rundown. We pick 5 topics that could vary. It could be entertainment, politics, anything that's going on, and we sort of discuss them. Sometimes they're very serious and heavy topics. Other times they're light and funny topics, but we try to have a wide range of things that we discuss because, one, we want to inform our listeners and also share our perspectives because it gives you insight into who we are and how we view things. And a lot of you may view them the same way or may be able to learn something. And we also try to pull from areas that maybe people don't have a lot of knowledge of because we want to entertain you, but we also want to inform you. We want you to learn a little bit. So we try to take that approach to the rundown. Sometimes it's, like I said, it's a more serious rundown depending on what happens that week. Sometimes it's light and funny. Sometimes it's a combination of the two. But we'll take 5 topics from that week to sort of kick off the show and get things, the juices flowing and chat before we have our guests on. The one thing on the rundown I have to clarify, I don't let Angel
I was going to say that.
Go ahead. Perfect. You say it then.
Yeah, I was going to say the one fun fact about the rundown, I never know ahead of time what we're going to discuss. I usually know that moment as he's reading it off to you guys as well. So we're all in this together. I never know, and I told you guys in our other segment about when learning about Angel Marie and Kevin about how I tune things out sometimes. So there's a lot of times where he's reading things off the rundown and I'm like, all right, I gotta focus this time. I can't do my usual tune people out by accident. So I really be focusing during that rundown. And sometimes if you guys ever catch, can you say that again? Or I'm stuttering a little bit, taking too long to answer. That's when I probably tuned him out by accident. But yeah, I never know because he wants my raw, unfiltered answers.
And definitely shout out to Angel Marie because that's not an easy thing to do, and I don't want you to think I take that for granted. I pick these topics, I have time to think about it, to develop a coherent thought about it, and to really think about my perspective on it. You, like the audience, are hearing it for the first time, but unlike the audience, you actually have to share your perspective on it. So I try my best to give you, that's why sometimes I'm like, hey, bear with me. I'm going to really take my time explaining this because I want you to have the full picture because I'm cognizant of the fact that I don't want you saying something crazy off base, not having the full story or the full background. So, I try to do that. But I definitely, every week, I do say to myself, that's not an easy thing to have to give your opinion on 5 topics off the cuff that you may not even really have much of a background on. So shout out to you for that. And you do an excellent job. Sometimes you really wow me. I'm like, that was insightful. And it takes a lot for me to get impressed. Sometimes she'll say something and I'm like, I never even looked at it that way.
See?
So shout out to you. Good job.
So the type of guests we typically feature are obviously independent artists. I think that's the base of our show, how we started off. We had a lot of independent artists. And we wanted to let everyone know that this is all inclusive. It's not just for indie artists. We want anybody who needs a platform to showcase their talents or their business, whatever it is that they have going on. So we've had authors, fitness trainers, designers. We had a few fashion designers recently. We had a celebrity stylist. We've had actors. We had a playwright on our show, a dancer. We had someone who opened up her own dance studio on our show. So it's a lot of different things. It doesn't matter what you do. We don't discriminate. Whatever it is that you do, we will allow you on our show to have that platform to promote and highlight your business or whatever it is that you have going on.
We have a wide range of guests, and we're not looking just for people who are, have a huge following or who are, extremely established. We like the upstarts too, the people who are just kind of getting going. The only thing we would just say is just, make sure that you have, put the work in, and, if you're an artist and you don't have anything that you can actually put out, or, then maybe you want to kind of get that going first before you reach out, because when you come here, we want to give you the platform, so we want to be able to say, hey, here's how you get the album, here's how you get the music, this is what they're working on. Or if you have a product, we want it to be an actual product. Don't just, contact us when you have the idea. Make sure you actually have the product or the service up and running and developed, so when people reach out to you, you can actually provide the service or the product that you're looking for. So that's the only, I guess, advice I'd give to anybody reaching out to us, is just make sure that you're ready for the platform, should you be able to come on the show. And like she said, we're open to everybody. We don't discriminate. So
exactly. That's why we're called All the Above, because we feature all of the above mentioned.
Exactly.
Hopefully you guys caught that. Hopefully it didn't go over your head. There you have it, guys. That is all from learning about all of the above and our backstory. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. You learned a little bit more about our show. Got a nice in-depth informational session, I guess, about it. So is there anything that you want to say before we close out?
No, this was fun. Everybody probably realizes he's never in front of the camera.
It's probably the most you guys ever heard him talk, other than listening to him on the show.
The only time you ever really see me is when she makes me do our holiday posts or, Christmas, and she forces me to do it. I try to hide. Sometimes I'm like, maybe she'll forget, and then she'll be like, oh, we missed opportunity. She never forgets, but no, I do tell her though, she's the face of the show, but I definitely, when necessary, I have no problem, being part of the on-camera discussion or the audience-facing stuff. So for those of you who aren't used to hearing me much, here's an opportunity.
Never could put a face to the voice. But as always, we want you guys to definitely like this video. Comment if you guys heard of anything that you like. If you have any questions for us about the show that we probably didn't answer that you may have been curious about. And as always, subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's how you guys stay up to date on everything that we have going on. And whenever we post new videos, especially our biggest thing for our YouTube videos is when we do field interviews. So we go to local events and we let you guys get a nice backstage view of what's going on, basically. So yes, as always, I'm your girl Angel Marie, and I'm sitting here with my co-host Kevin.
See you next time.
See you guys next time.
Wednesdays at 7, Angel Marie and Kevin playing the illest records, bringing us back together. Philly is all season, swimming through any weather, leaving the track bleeding, way we pull it together.